Hey everybody, I'm so excited about our 300 leadership group. I feel like we've kind of coined this term. I'm really excited about it and I cannot wait to move through this with you. Um, and we are just going to really work our way through the concept of becoming emeralds, what that looks like, and how this can show up. So the first thing I'm going to tell you, if you've never been one-on-one coached by me, I want you to give me grace for my directness and my passionate love for where I believe that you can go. And so if at any point it feels like I'm yelling at you or something like that, know that it comes from a place of that
Recording in progress.
God has put me here to scale you, right? You're here in this environment with me because we've got somewhere we want to go and we're going to go together. And so I love you. And I just want to say that to start off. So we are going to kick off tonight with the subject. And I do have notes with the subject of time blocking and IPA. And really as the foundation of how we're going to become this jewel level leader. And as we've kind of coined that, our messenger chat, that 300 leadership group, we're really looking for 300 or more orders in your organization by the end of the year. And the way that we're going to do that is we have a foundation around just what creates the ability to scale to that level, right? What does that look like? Let's open it up quickly with time blocking. Okay, what does time blocking mean? Okay, so what time blocking means is that you are using the time that you have wisely. And I did share in our thread that resource. It was shared with us. I see Shannon on here. It was shared with us at the same time. And it's really a matter of having a worksheet that you're able to block in, guys, everything. It's not just plexus time. But what happens is that you're able to look and see where you do have space in your schedule. Okay? So then of course, IPA. IPA is a part of getting to Emerald. IPA is a part of scaling this business on any level. What does IPA mean? It means impact producing activity, it means income producing activity. These are items that you are going to be doing to kind of walk you down the path of earning money. Many of you have been doing this, right? I'm not looking at a screen of people who have not been successful in this company already. Okay, so this is just the commitment of doing it on a regular basis, because here is the deal. And this is where some of my directness is going to come through. And I want you to hear my heart with this. You're not busier than other people. You're not. Okay. We're all busy. And when we can show up to the conversation that we're all busy, that you have a certain what busy looks like for you, and Missy has what looks like busy for her, and Amanda has like, we're all busy, okay? Because guess what? You wouldn't even be saying yes to this if you couldn't multitask. Period. End of story. I went on a rant in my stories recently, like, when people tell me they're busy, oh, you're more on my list. Okay. Period. All right. So I want you to just start to tell yourself a new story about the time that you have, right? That's what it is. So, basically, you just have to ask yourself, what story have you been telling yourself about the time that you have? And that was kind of when I shared before about that model worksheet. You might have gotten through it, you might have not gotten through it. It's a really special exercise. I've had a couple of you reach out saying, like, wow, I didn't really realize this about my thoughts, or, this is kind of showing up for me. The reason both of these things simultaneously are really important is because your mind is your biggest deterrent from your success. Your mind. And it's not something that you can fix, like it's a muscle you have to keep flexing, right? I still tell myself the most horrible things sometimes, you guys, and I've made it, right? Or whatever we say. Okay. No, I've gotten more no's than you guys, but we're all in this together. We're in the trenches together. And I want you to understand that keeping your mind in alignment, doing that exercise, that worksheet every time that you need any, at any point that you need to, is really, really critical. Having someone that you trust to walk you through the limiting beliefs is a really special thing. All right. So the next thing I want you to really like think about, okay? How many times do you say to yourself, I don't have time for this? I don't have time for this. Whatever it is. Oh yeah, nod. I know. I know you say it. It's okay. It's okay. I or I don't know what to do. So you freeze. Right? But that's not true. You do know what to do. You do have time. And your brain is working against you because it says, if it's not perfect, I can't show up. Right? That's why you're like, oh, I don't know what to do. Like, oh, I don't have time. That's just a mechanism of keeping yourself safe. And so we're in a safe zone right now. It's okay to just acknowledge that these are things that you've said to yourselves. We all do it. It doesn't make you flawed, incapable, or not poised for growth. Really, it's just sitting in that, right? So the next time, a week from now, 2 days from now, where you've got things firing all these levels, someone in your downlines like giving you problems, like this person's like can't poop somehow still, right? You're like, oh my God, I don't have time for this. I'm so busy. But here's the thing, this is the flex on that thought is I am poised to help no matter what is on my plate. You would not have been brought here in this place if you were not qualified. I hate to fucking break it to you. Okay. And we're going to drop the F bomb because it's me. Right? You're qualified. You were brought here purposefully. God doesn't make mistakes. You have enough time. You're the right one. People do want to follow you, all the things. So those are two of the most common things that I hear, right? And those are just that, again, that leans in that perfectionism. I don't have time. I don't know what to do. Right? So when you hear yourself say that, or you kind of fall into that, I want you to just do yourself a favor and let yourself sit in it. Right? It's coming from a space that is a vulnerable space, but we can ask ourselves, is this true? Is this true? Okay. So mentoring is how you move forward. Your goal should always be, right? When we say, I don't know what to be doing. Okay. You need to be working with 4 to 5 people on a regular basis. If you're brand new and you're looking at me going, I'm new. Okay. We're finding them. We're finding them. We're finding them. We're finding them. We're always looking to be working with 4 to 5 people on a regular basis at any given time. Okay. So the question remains, what are we doing to open those conversations? And obviously this is, we're getting there. We're stacking on this information. The first thing that you're doing always as a leader, as someone who wants to be a leader in this company, is you are finding people to work with. Right? And if we have issues with that, we can open that up in the thread. We can have those conversations, but always 4 to 5 people, right? On a regular basis, I want those conversations open. If that is a vulnerability or a growth point for you, that's a growth point for you. That doesn't mean anything about where you're going. Okay, that's where you are today, period. And the next thing is that you're always moving your points forward. Always. Okay. Gone are the days that we are not going to set goals. That's not this group. And if you are not in the space where you want to be setting at least, just take it forward, take it forward, take it forward. I don't judge you. I love you. It is okay if this is not for you, but this group is to move, we're moving our points forward. And what that means is we're moving our impact forward, because every time that someone orders, we are influencing for the better. Our points are not our identity. Okay, I know I feel like I don't have to say this, but I'm going to say it, right? Our points are not who we are. Our points are not our identity. It doesn't mean that we're a good person today if we have whatever, X, Y, Z, but it is a measurement. It is a way that we have a measurement in this business. And so that's why I want us to have a talking point around this. It does not mean that it equates to your worthiness for love or the value you add. Are we understanding this? Okay, it's simply a metric. It is not the value that you create on this earth. We got it? Okay. All right. So here's the deal. You have to show up on social media as a part of your IPA. I don't want to hear that we're not doing that. But I care less about how you show up on social media than I do about how you connect. You will never be growing in your leadership if you're not leaning into connection, period. So yes, I feel like we're in the place where we know that posting on social media is kind of a wide net that we get to cast, but it is not everything we're doing. I would rather, if you had 20 minutes, I would rather you spend time loving and connecting and moving people than here's the ingredients of BioCleanse on my social media. But we're going to send this through a filter that all of it kind of coagulates together. Do we understand this? Okay. Connection is the most important thing. This is a group for growth. We have all said yes to this because we know we want to move forward. We want more money. We're not in this group because we feel money is a bad thing. More is not a dirty word. Are we good? Are we there? Okay, we don't have to cover this again. Okay, just want to okay. So leaders, and I'm in some groups too that, my mentors are reminding me that leaders take action, and they take action right away, knowing they can change their mind. So all of us, right, that we hesitate to make a decision because we want that perfect answer. How can we hold space for making that decision or that action, knowing that we can change it later? Okay. And I want you to remember that, again, we're talking about time blocking. We're talking about just making that time. We're talking about showing up to those activities. But I want you to think about how sometimes you might be holding back on making a decision for your team, right? Something for your team, something that excites you, and you pause and hesitate because you want it to be perfect. Have you ever done that? Perfect doesn't exist. It doesn't. And I promise you, I have failed so many freaking times. It's gross. You're probably like, oh, no, you don't. No, I do. Okay. I do. And I'm just telling you, if that tells you anything that you don't know that I fail, what does this say for you? Let it give you the freedom to just do. Okay. All right. So here's another thing that hit me like a ton of bricks today. I was in a separate group. I thought I would bring this in here, and I just want us all to pause for me to say this because it hit me today in the stomach. It's not how you're doing, it's how your team is doing. So do you remember when I said to you, it's about connecting and it's about who you're working with? That's how we are going to be like monitoring our growth, and also with those points. And by the way, I have all of your points written down, and those will increase by Friday. I know that they will, because we're going to be impacting others. We're going to be having conversations. I don't care if it increases by fucking 2 points. Do you hear me? because what we're doing is we're turning the arrow out and we're being used as a vessel for good. And so it's less about our perfection, it's more about connecting with others and how we can help them scale their business, their experience, their, some people getting $20 back would make a big impact, you guys. And I want you to remember it, right? A lot of us really quantify this business like you guys are privy to like, oh, so and so is a diamond and they make XYZ amount of guys, we're in an economy right now where $20 means a lot of things to people. Don't forget it. Don't forget that you have the ability to help them connect with one person and make $20 to $30. And that's maybe the decision of like doing an organic couple of produce items. And I don't want you to forget how impactful that is. Don't lie to yourself that it's not enough by just helping one person. Don't lie to yourself about that. Okay, so what are we going to do? So here's what I want to say. I mentioned it before, but I shared in our thread that model about thoughts. If you haven't gone into that and looked at that, I really, really want you to. And if you want any one-on-one about that, you can always message me privately about that, because that there is thoughts and the study of thoughts have changed literally everything in my life. And when I say everything in my life, I mean, I was able to let go of old traumas because of how I could analyze the way that my thoughts were impacting my reality. Please don't sleep on that. So I want you to walk through that model exercise. I want you to really do it. And if you need one-on-one from me with that, you can always, always be a part of that with me, because it is the foundation around where you will go in this, because it's shaping everything. And I'm going to quickly, I have it memorized. So I'm going to quickly just, your circumstance is your circumstance, right? Okay. And so then we have a thought that creates a feeling, right? That creates an action, that creates a result. And the truth of the matter is that you actually get to choose your thoughts, even though it doesn't seem like it. So here's a perfect example, and I'm going to keep this super light. I love using this, so we're not going to get into it, but politics is a great way to look at this. The circumstance is the economy, okay? And you might have a certain thought based around your politics, and it kind of changes and trickles down everything. But someone else has the same circumstance and has a totally different thought, and it creates a totally different result. Those realities are real to each person. Okay. And we're not going to get into that specific one. I'm not crazy enough to do that. But all I'm saying is your reality is very much shaped by your thought around the same circumstance. So the circumstance could be, my points are 100. There's going to be one person that's like, my points are only 100. Then another person's going to be like, my points are 100. Same thing. You know? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, same fucking thing. It's the same thing. And so I want you to just check in with how your thought around your circumstance is affecting your actions. Because my points are 100, right? My points are 100. Oh, well, we're not moving. Our points are 100. We're not happy with that, right? Right? Or my points are. And then it fuels in this beautiful action of like all the exciting and opportunistic and the conversations you're starting because of that. So work through the workbook. Do it. It's really, really special and impactful. Okay, so here's what we're doing. Now, back to the other workbook, our Emerald workbook. Okay. You've got it. Maybe you've printed it. Hopefully you've printed it. Or you're just walking through it and you're setting your intentions. Don't miss on that, right? Sometimes I've always been given workbooks and I'm like, I'm not going to fill it out. Just fill it out. Just see what happens, right? Write it down. Okay. But what we're doing when we're time blocking and we're doing our IPA is we're using discipline and action together. You can show up with C- work every day, and it's better than A work one day. Think about that. And a lot of times we don't accept that, right? We don't accept that 20 minutes a day every day is better than 1 hour one day. Do you know why? You teach yourself it's important to you. You teach yourself that you can trust your effort. And the more that you show up on a regular basis, the more that you tell yourself the story that you can trust yourself, that other people can trust you, that you are the one that they need, that you can lead them, right? And so that model workbook is really, really special because it's going to maybe identify some thoughts that aren't working for you, right? Nobody wants to follow me. My points are only 50, whatever, fill in the blank. Okay. It all is up here and it all is something that can be changed at any time. And we don't really see that until we work through those things. So please, when I say reach out, if you want to walk through it with me, I want you to do it. Okay. And it's not a burden for me. Your thoughts and feelings are not a burden to me. Okay. They're very, very important to me. All right. So reminder, leaders make decisions that can be changed later. Hesitating is a sign of perfectionism, and we don't have time to be perfect. We have to show up. Can we agree that we don't have time to be perfect? Because we have to show up, because we have goals that we're going to hit by the end of the year. We don't have the luxury of being perfect. We just don't have that luxury because we don't have the time. We've got to hit our goal by the end of the year. All right. So perfectionism is also kind of like procrastination, kind of cloaked in fear, right? We kind of hesitate. A little weird. Okay. All right. So I've got your points written down. I know those are going to be different by Friday. So here's what I want to tell you regarding time blocking, pulling it back together, time blocking, using that sheet, figuring out where you're spending your time, because we do tell ourselves we don't have time, right? We've already said that. We all tell ourselves that sometimes. 15 minutes, 3 times a day. That's 45 minutes. And it might look like C+ effort, but it gets the job done every single time. It's way more effective than not showing up at all because we don't have the time. Okay. And so the next thing is IPA. We have been, Marie actually has been showing up in leadership for us and posting those sheets. And she's using the one from our workbook, and I love it. You might be like, okay, well, I like this, but I want to change it up. I want a different flavor. If you want a different flavor other than that, use her reminder to, kind of encourage your discipline. But if you just go to our team page and type in IPA, you'll get a bunch of sheets that you pick one. It doesn't matter. It's again showing up to the work, and we are doing a drawing every week. So that's really, really fun. And it's been exciting that we get to do that. So here's what I know. I know that when you say yes to doing it every week and you ask one more person to say yes, that can be really impactful. And again, you might be evaluating yourself and believing that, oh, my team isn't big enough. I only have this many points, or I'm not a leader yet, or all those things we could tell ourselves, but we want to dynamically believe new things. If we want new results, we have to believe new things. And so here's what we're going to believe. Are you guys ready? We're going to wake up tomorrow and we're going to believe I am ready to lead. I am leading. People need me to show up. People are waiting for me to show up. How would you act every day if your thought was, people are waiting for me to show up? How would you act? How would you show up if you believed that people were waiting for it? Well, I bet a lot of things would change. And that's how so interesting with those thoughts, right? Tiffany, I see you, girl. Yes, she said she would effing show up. Well, let's show up because it's the truth. They are waiting for you. And I can tell you something right now. I just want you to really, really sit in the fact that when you show up every day on any level, you are just poising yourself to teach, to grow, to lead. And I know that it's going to get better and better and better. So here's your homework. Hang on, I wrote the homework down. Here's your call to action. All right, we're moving others forward. We're moving points forward. Okay. There are people on this screen that are just starting. There are people on this screen who've been with me for a long time. It is the same call to action. I want you to identify who you're going to work with. And I want you to get them into action, even if it's one person. Even if it's, getting them to add you into that three-way message, getting them to posting on their behalf, getting them to try a new regimen, getting them into action. We're doing that. And we're going to increase our points by Friday night, by the end of the month. Okay. And like I said earlier today, I wanted you to set a goal. Okay. I don't know what that goal is, but I want you to tell me what that goal is. I want you to reach out to me about it, who you're going to work with, what your point goal is. And the trust that we have with each other is, even if you miss your goal, I know that you're fully qualified. So you don't have to worry about not looking like you don't know how to do your job or something crazy like that, because I love you so much and I'm holding space for everything that you're going to become. Okay. So last reminder, this is a group about getting real and not answering to a boss. I'm not your boss. Okay. You're your boss. I want you to make yourself proud. I want you to decide what you're going to believe tomorrow when you wake up. Okay? Okay. I love you guys very, very much. I can't wait to hear from all of you. We're going to see you next Tuesday. Okay?